Good morning, afternoon, evening, or night, whatever time it is at your place. I hope it's going great. I am going to do something kind of fun, kind of quick. We're just going to select some cards by using some of this gold that we've got in a Premier draft for March of the Machine. I do know that the most efficient thing for us to do would be to do the quick draft, but I kind of like the Premier draft right now as a way to get some cards in our hands and start figuring out what's going on. And hopefully, if we pick a good deck, we can get some gems out of it, which would give us some future, quick drafts later. So just kind of jumpstart us into this set. So I thought this would be a good way to get going. So let's get drafting. There is a time draft, so this is going to go quick. You're not going to hear my opinion on every card, on every pick. But I will point out like the two or three that I think are probably the ones that are competing for my attention and deciding which one's going to be the right way. Come on, the last two. We lost somebody. Oh, we gained him. And we're all here. L pandas and missings and okay, so right off the bat, black is looking strong in this deck. We've got a lot of different black colors, but our rare is a dragon that we can convoke to get out nice and quick and early. And convoke is just like the best for getting some of those kinds of cards. This one's not bad either. It's one of the previous cards. Instant sorcery and dragon spells can't be countered. Whenever you cast one from your hand, if they attack this turn, the spell gains rebound. So a spell, if you cast a spell with rebound from your hand, you exile it as resolved. At the beginning of your next upkeep, you can cast that spell again without paying its cost. So you kind of get it twice. So there's a lot to like about that card, but it is tough to build a deck and put it around. Invasion's pretty nice. Here you get kind of like a removal spell along with a 3/3 flyer that grows every time something over there dies. Really think that Chomping Kavu takes the cake. So would like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, there's cards coming out my ears here. But I'm going to take the rare. And the rare goes with Convoke. Convoke goes with bodies on the board. Skittering helps us splash, but we'll probably see some of those later. There's that same invasion again in black, which is the color that we picked. So part of me thinks let's take the invasion. This is a great card, but I think we'll get a couple more chances at it. It's just a common, but if you're missing one of those swamps, man, oof, seeing that card in your hand is great. And at the end of the game, backup 2 can make just about anything into something really, really good. This one, incubates 2, and then when Phyrexians you control, you get to put a +1 counter on it. Pretty solid if we're going to do black-white, actually. Um, I think I'm going to go with this, actually. The Inquisitor feels like a 2-drop that comes in with a 2/2, so it kind of comes in with 2 bodies, and then it turns them into 3/3s. I can think about some incubation, Phyrexian, black-green kind of, synergies. Okay, the Invasion of Kaldheim and exiles all cards in your hands and then draw that many. Um, I kind of like it. This one just is a removal spell, but it's so expensive. I mean, I'll take it. It's not that bad, but this one's really, really good too. I'll take the rare. It's early enough, and a rare siege like this seems like there could be a world. There's also a big convoke synergy between red and black. There's a lot of convoke cards in red, and then there's a lot of little weenies in red. So we're not married to white just yet, and the idea of playing two rares that have some pretty high power is pretty nice. It's hard to get more high power than a 7/6 flyer that you could cast for. I mean, it says 8 as a starting, but you're probably casting it for 5. It's just too good. I should have looked at some of the other cards. We had time. I didn't realize that the cards were all kind of stacked up. I actually do think this is good and constructed. I'm not so sure how many spells that actually go after us. Etched Familiar is serviceable, kind of like a filler card. Um, yeah, this is not the pack for us. This isn't great. I guess I'm gonna take either the Dirtly Destruction card or the Etched Familiar. I guess I'm gonna take the Etched Familiar as a way to get something out of it if it dies. Just kind of a sacrificial missile, maybe. Hmm. Yeah. Okay. Again, not happy with that pick, but that pack was real, real bad. There was nothing in red, nothing in white, nothing in black besides the Etched Familiar. That's a lot of colors to have nothing in. But we're moving on. All right. Hermit's good. Kavu's coming back. That's another good one. I think this one's actually really good too. I think this plays better than it looks. This could be a decent removal kind of piece. You got to have that, wait for their activated kind of thing, so they kind of know it's coming. And then this thing could be great in a convoking, you know, different kind of structure of a deck. We'll take the Aetherborn here, getting some lifelink, having a 3/3 that we could maybe pass some lifelink off to a big body one time, get a big hit. All all positive. Good stabilizing card around that 4 turn, 5 turn if you're having trouble. And this I think is a great card. A little harder to cast, but comes down and then can just have a ton of toughness if it's late game. Can be great, without it in the beginning. Handing out something vigilance, yeah, okay. This thing though, with the +1s every time something comes down, is just gonna kind of whittle away. Just it's a win. And so this invasion's starting to look farther and farther away. We're not decided yet. I haven't seen a lot of incubate white cards come down yet, so I'm hoping on the next pack because things are passing. I don't know if you noticed, but like they're passing this way, right? So in the circle, somebody over here is probably drafting white with incubate as their main thing, but on the next one we're going to pass this way, and so hopefully the cards that are up here find their way into my hands and give me an opportunity to pick them up when they go that side. Um, we don't have to put them in the companion slot. If a source you control with odd mana would deal value damage to a permanent player, it deals double that damage. Yeah, and you're in my colors. This is a great card too. This is hard. This is a little bit of a hard pick for me, um, but getting the Etched Familiar to deal 6 damage, you know what I mean? Like, that's pretty good. At this moment, that's all we've got going my way, but we'll take the roll on it. Plus, the art on it's really good. Not as good as it looks. Um, this definitely has the incubates synergies that we're looking for. Plus, it's a flyer, and it's just going to get home. Can help flip battles if we end up needing to. So, Attentive Sky Warden looks good, and I'm really hoping for some incubate synergies. I'm not ready to completely give up the Invasion of Kaldheim because it would just be a single red splash. Discard a land, and then it deals 2 damage. When you discard a land, exile the top card of your library, and you can play that card instead. So yeah, pretty solid. Do we have enter the battlefield, right? Like no, um, yeah, no, no, yeah, yeah. Okay. I haven't found this card to be very good. I have found this card to be great, but Scroll Shift is a neat spell for enter the battlefield effects, and even our Hoarding Brood. Search your library for a card, put it face down. For as long as that card remains exile, you can play it. Spells you cast all have Convoke. Like, there's other things that come along with the Hoarding Brood besides being a 7/6 flyer, which seems ridiculous. But Scroll Shift is a good way to get an extra lifelink pass off. So if you did have something like a Sky Warden and he's got a big wall, but the Sky Warden can get home, you can, flicker this, put another +1 on the Sky Warden again, and now it's hitting for 3 with lifelink. Or if it's the second time, it's hitting 4/4 with lifelink. And like I said, a good stabilization kind of mechanism. Little back and forth on all of them, but pretty good. Deals 2 damage to a target, and then it can't block. First striker that comes in, Yargle. It's just taking up a card in my hand. To be honest, it just gets killed so fast because it's so quick of a threat. I would probably rather just take the land here on the off chance that we need to splash. And we'll take the removal spell now. Expensive as it is, having removal is always a good thing. Plus, if Hoarding Brood's out, this thing can get cast with Convoke onto it, making it much, much easier to cast. So, things that I'm looking for now, you can see like we're pretty high in the mana curve. I'm looking for things that are in like the 2 and less situation. So, of course, they give us all of these cards that are not 2 or less. It's kind of a removal piece. Red and blue splash, maybe. I don't know. I don't. 2 of our off colors. It's just not likely to happen. It's just impossible to let a Chomping Kavu go. We could play with it later. Um, I know it's not as highly rated of a card, but it's going to be hard to take that. Okay, a good rare in the sacrifice deck for sure. And then there's that invasion that's also a removal spell. I'm going to probably take the rare at this point because just having a 2/2 lifelinker isn't enough to take me off of that rare. And nothing, super fitting the bill of being a 2-drop creature here. So let's just take the 3-drop 3/3, and later in the game we can start making some of these things into missiles. This would be like a 5-mana missile. Plus she's odd, right? And odd colors are good according to this thing. You get to double that damage. So it's good to be odd. Phyrexian Sensor. Ooh. Probably gonna take it. I love when this thing comes down. It just disrupts their entire gameplay so many times. And it's a 3/3 for 3. And so it's as close to a body that I can find that fits the bill. We do have a Phyrexian or two in here. And we have also a non-Phyrexian or two. She's a Phyrexian, which is kind of cool. Whoa. Death Touch, Lifelink, 3/5. If a permanent entered the battlefield caused a trigger ability, that ability triggers a second time. Kind of neat, huh? And then here's an invasion from this part of the set. Aura God or Demigod. Aura God or Demigod. So, excellent card, but not in our colors. In our colors, rare card, invasion. Yes, pulling me in that direction. And then a little bit of a trick over here. Probably going to just take the invasion. I know it's probably not very good, but we're here for some rares, and we won't be deterred. Getting a 4/4 lifelinking God's pretty good. Aura, God, or Demigod. That's the stuff we're looking for here. We have one Demigod, but that's probably... Wait a minute. Are you a God? Are you a Demigod? Are you a Demigod? Who's a Demigod? I don't know. Whoa. Whoa. They're just giving us all these crazy rares. Um, cool invasion over here. Get a +1 target come out, but not in our color. Knights is a body. It's not a great body to put down. Probably not a card that I'm willing to. This is cool, but unfortunately you don't get to play it outside in standard. But this one you do. And so I am just not 100% certain that this card is a thing necessarily. Um, but this isn't better. So we'll just take the rare. Like, oh, now here we go. Simone and Dina, whenever you draw your second card each turn, do the life of do that. I'm probably just going to take this. I feel like it's a necessary part of our deck. Having that ability to draw goes back in the direction, but it is a nice mythic card to have. Sacrifice another creature, draw a card. Yeah, there's a lot of good things there. It just doesn't synergize with anything in our deck, and we're going to want to get some wins, right? Remember what I said that like it was all going to work out in this direction versus the other? Danger, Will Robinson. One of these is good, especially in an incubate deck. You can take a card out of them if you feel like it's an important card, or you cannot. Here's a little cheap body that comes down with backup on it. Loving it. Here's a removal spell in black. Here's a red splash enabler. We have 16 cards. I do think removal comes at a premium, though, at this point, and this invasion is not like, oh yeah, we've got to have it, like, for sure. So unfortunately, we need that removal spell more than we need this invasion to be in our deck. It kind of just turns into an enchantment, too. I don't know. It doesn't affect the board. It's kind of for like a real slow, long game. So only 4 cards at 2 mana or less. Would like this to be closer to like 8, 9, or 10. We do have 11 creatures, so we've been doing a really good job on the creature front. As I say that, I am given a choice between an invasion and a creature, and this invasion is different. I like this invasion. It comes out later enough in the game that you get to pick something that will get killed with the three, damage, and then when you flip it, that's a really nice threat. A 3/3 flyer is really good. And finally a 2-drop in black. Not a Phyrexian, but it's okay. I don't think the sensor is going to come out early enough to freak that thing out. Yeah. Should I just keep collecting Chavus, or should I take the blue-white Lord card for making a night deck when we're out of this? Okay, so 18, we got to get to 23. Feeling pretty good, actually, about the cards that are in here as far as their capability. I know the ratings aren't too high on this card, but I'm not against it at all. I actually think that the card um, has a place. I don't know if it's the fastest place, but it's the Phyrexian place. It can be a 5/4. If you cast this thing after like turn 8 or 9, like you've got yourself a decent card. Well, guess we'll take the equipment with no intention of playing it. And we have a whole nother pack just to make 4 more playables. Hopefully we kind of focus the playables on the small end of it, but we'll see. We'll see. So we're not like, oh my god, what are we going to do? Would like some more Phyrexians or... Okay. Whoa. Hmm. We got to take it. It's the definition of a bomb. You can convoke it. We may not play it, but we're taking it anyway. I know about the dun. I know. And there's a 1-drop sitting there. It looks so tasty, but it's not going to be the way to go. Whoa. Another removal spell. Mana smoothing, not really mana, splashing. A Phyrexian or a removal. A sacrifice lord, so to speak. Um, a rare that is probably one of the weaker rares, I think, in the entire set. And then I haven't really figured out how to use Cascade. And this invasion's cool in the +1 green-white stuff. It goes along with the Rotten Tail too. But I think we'll just take the removal at this point, right now. If we see a white Phyrexian or a black Phyrexian, we're taking them specifically on the low side. It's a human knight, but here's an invasion with 5 colors. Whoa, should we just rare draft on this? No, this is what we need right here. When a Phyrexian dies, you get to surveil 1, you get to make a 3/3, it's a 2-mana spell. Oh, wow. What's this? Oh yeah, that's the removal spell that can also plane cycle as well. I think I like this more. I say I think. Yeah, I like it more, but it's close. It's real close. That white I'm hoping to wheel that thing or find another one of those. He's a Phyrexian, he's a removal spell, he's a plane cycler. Like, he is a little bit of everything. And I'm not so sure there's anything that card doesn't do at this point. Really good. Really good, cheap, human berserker, but you can kind of turn something else into a sacrifice if you need it to be. Um, Specifically, if you couple it with like that red card that takes things away. I don't see anything else really of value here. This isn't the greatest of spells that I've found. And then, again, there's always a chomping Kabu waiting to chomp on you. Always. This is a pretty cool card in the +1 deck too, especially if you get these other features that are like, when this gets a +1, this gets a +1, and then it just all cascades and the whole board just like erupts, and you're like, whoa. I've got a black and white deck on the last one that I drafted, and there's a 3-drop that gets extra +1s on it every time, and it's just so good. So good. Okay, we've got a black-white invasion. You can sacrifice an artifact creature. When you do, you get to exile an artifact or creature an opponent controls. It doesn't sound phenomenal, except we're going to have some we're gonna have some creatures that we can sacrifice, some 2/2s and stuff like that. And whenever an equipped creature with this gets a bunch of +1s, so it's a fun card. I don't know if it's the best pick, but it's the thing that we're gonna try. Incubate 4, and then Phyrexians have Vigilance. Another one of these like Lord cards, low to the ground. Here is a Phyrexian. Does give you at least something to block and kind of get on there. Good at turning, so just a little bit of everything here for us. Um, this does affect the board more than it seems because that vigilance is going to affect all the other creatures a lot, giving you a lot more blockers, and then you're going to have this 4/4 body for, almost on tune. Um, okay, so I told you I really wanted one of those things to wheel, and I got one over here that wheeled. So I think I'm going to take this one over this one. I do like this card, but I would take the Phyrexian. I would take the non-white Mana Screw. There's just a lot of positives that come out of that. And here is the ability to possibly splash. Um, Definitely the choice here. There's nothing else, right? And there's a little 1-drop, just what we were hoping for. Thank you. Coming in at the end. Dropping a backup Vigilance isn't a bad thing. I don't think we'll play it, but it's there. And another 2-drop, or mill 3 cards, then return up to 2 creature cards from your graveyard to your hand. I actually think that that works. We'll see, though. Converter Beast is not likely, but if we are going to splash green, it's probably the closest thing. And then there's another one of these guys, another Phyrexian. I might end up cutting these Knights and keeping these Phyrexians, and then putting those 2 mill cards to work. I guess, but we're probably not playing their second copy of the Traumatic Revelations. And we're almost done picking cards, and then I'm going to take a quick break. We'll do a quick deck build. Green and red. Ugh, so close. Well, you can't say we didn't try to splash with the red, but I don't know how to make that extra green happen. I desperately want to play that card, but I don't see the mana fixing available here. Let's take a look this way and see. Currently, there are 47 cards with 18 and 12 as far as creature count is concerned. We split them up like this in order to see. This is that mill strategy. And then we've got 2 Traumatic Revelations. Those are both kind of easy cuts if we end up needing to cut. This invasion also requires a bit of sacrifice on our end. So then we'd have 1, 2, 3. Probably just 3 easy cuts on there. And then up here, so this is, 3 easy cuts, nothing extra. Maybe we're cutting 1 or 2 of those. We'll see. Sorry. Somebody just did your appointment. Yeah, okay. I do like having some 1-drops. 1, 2, 3 is not bad. I do like having some 2-drops. Only 3 is not good. We'll have 2 more things to do over here. I think this invasion's a cut. Right? It needs an aura, a god, or a demigod. We have 1 demigod. It's just not going to work. Alright, that's okay. This invasion I do like. I'm going to keep. These 2 both help me find the cards I'm looking for, and I'm definitely not cutting that. So then it's coming down to maybe the Aetherborn can go. It's really like a lot of mana for a low impact kind of card. And starting to get a little low on the creature count. Let's check out this. 42. We wouldn't do that. That's 17 lands, right? Besides the Vig, you just don't do much, huh? Yeah, we'll do it like that. Now, we're really leaning in heavily with this Phyrexian Censor because we've got some Phyrexians just kind of coming out of our ears over here. He's not a Phyrexian. not a Phyrexian. But these guys at the low end are not as scary to cast because they're not going to do a ton. Up here at the top, we do have a Phyrexian. We would have to come in tapped on both of those, unfortunately. But I do kind of like this thing too because having a lot of odd mana creatures doing a ton of extra damage when they hit isn't a bad idea either. So odd mana, odd mana, odd mana, and then oh, you're 7. Last I checked, 7's an odd mana color. So there is enough in here to support this card, if you ask me. 5 is an odd color too. 3, 5. Is that right? No, this is 4. I was like, what the what? I can do math. I can do math good. What about you? We'll keep this. Keep that. I think we'll bounce that. This is the only reason why I would like it. Yeah. Yeah. I think we'll do it like this. So there's your deck. That's what we built. Pretty quick. I actually kind of dig it. It looks like it's got some good synergy. We've got a few rare cards built into it. We've got some nice removal spells. We didn't really waste a lot of picks, and we actually picked up some good value on the sideboards as well, which is good. There's more than just creatures, right? Yeah. We picked up the invasion as rare as well. So I dig it. I think that this is a nice. This is what the new curve kind of looks like, by the way, too. Like, a little bit kind of even through the first 3, and then a little bit of a handlebar, and then big stuff at the end, because these things have like the plane cycling multi-purpose, so you're much more willing to put them in your deck. Also, having Convoke makes it much more willing to put in your deck. So, more cards up here than you're ever used to seeing, less cards right here than you're ever used to seeing. Okay, taking a break. We'll have to practice with that later.